Hello there. Did you know that sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, and abuse is a form of gender based violence? Well, now you know. Welcome back to Open Talks with Sisi. My name is Ambale Sarafina, and today we will be sharing more on sexual harassment, what sexual harassment is, and how will you know that this is sexual harassment, and what you need to do or what the other person needs to do to protect the other person from sexual harassment. So let us start with the basic facts about sexual harassment. So as said earlier, this is a form of gender-based violence. In most institutions and in most organizations, sexual harassment goes against the policies. It is also against the laws of the country. When you look at a work setup, we have a lot of effects when it comes to sexual harassment, because when this happens, it causes a lot of distress to employees who we now call them as victims. And when this happens, we have a lot of absenteeism, and then productivity will obviously drop, while most employees will feel like they no longer want to come to work because that is where they're being harassed. Sexual harassment is an unwelcome sexual behavior which is offensive and also humiliating. I'm sure you might be asking yourself if a compliment is also sexual harassment, or rather if touching is sexual harassment, or if you can ask a coworker out on a date, or if that is going to be termed as sexual harassment. Well, you have two types of sexual harassment, and the first one is the quid pro quo sexual harassment, and the second one is the hostile work environment sexual harassment. So quid pro quo sexual harassment is basically exchange for one thing to get something else. For instance, if at all HR tells you that you must sleep with me so that you get this work, so that is a quid pro quo sexual harassment. For the hostile work environment sexual harassment, it mainly means that these are unwelcome sexual conducts or maybe attentions that may interfere with an individual's work performance, or even create an intimidating work environment. So this could be you're receiving letters from an individual you don't really want. Someone is busy sharing or winking at you each and every time at work, and you do not feel like you want to accommodate that. So sexual harassment can be in different forms. It can be verbal. For instance, if someone calls you names that you do not like or you do not want, maybe in the at the work environment, like baby, honey, and all that. If someone also whistles at you, or even tells you sexual jokes, when you start talking and then they just bring in sex jokes each and every time. If someone is always asking the other person for a date and they are not really interested in that. It can also be non-verbal. These can be related in this way. You find someone maybe winking at you each and every time, someone throwing kisses on your end each and every time while you're just seated doing your work, and then you find someone is staring at you for more than even 5 minutes, someone giving you letters and all that. So sexual harassment can also be physical, and this is the most common one, as people still feel like that is normal. When someone spanks you or even massages your neck or shoulders, touches you, or even your clothing, or your hair, when someone brushes their body onto your body while they're moving and all that. So people can as well confuse between sexual harassment and flirting. So when you look at flirting, this is always it's a welcome attention, and it goes both ways. But sexual harassment, it's not wanted, it's not welcome, and it's just one-sided. You get that one person is the one who is initiating all this, whether it is physical, whether it's verbal or non-verbal. What will you do when you find yourself in this situation? Or rather, when your friend confides in you that he or she is being sexually harassed? What are you going to do? So the first thing is always speaking out. you need to tell off this person who is initiating the sexual conversations, the physical touches, and all that you are not interested. In most cases, this that does not really stop the person from going ahead with the actions and also the non-verbal cues. What will you do next if this harassment continues? Well, different institutions as well as organizations have placed measures in place to ensure that sexual harassment is not tolerated. So you need to be aware of the sexual harassment policy within your institution or your organization. So most will allow you to reach out to the HR, the human resource, or rather the compliance officer. And you can do this through calling or even writing a mail. And this can also be done anonymously. So you just send a mail describing who, what, where, and when, so that they get the whole information to help in investigation. Have a look at Susan's story. So after just joining 3 months ago, she gets threats from the manager after she refused to go on a date with her, that you might end up as well getting a very bad review from me, or even losing your job. So put yourself in this situation and think of what are you going to do? Or if Susan approaches you, how are you going to help her? How are you going to ensure that this does not happen to the other person? Well, check out again for the next video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.